Friends, let's talk as openly as possible. What do you not believe in when it comes to your relationship? Does this disbelief concern you personally and something about yourself, the way you could be? Or does this disbelief concern your partner, the way you want to see them, the way they could be? Or does this disbelief concern, in principle, your shared vision of the relationship? How does this affect you? Do you avoid things because of this? In relationships, are you afraid to create, build, or get involved in them? Or, on the contrary, do you often agree to things in relationships that you don't want, which leads to pain, suffering, and so on? The question arises, how does this appear in our lives? How is it formed, the main reasons? What can be done about it? How can you cope with it? In this video, we will try to thoroughly address these questions. And literally, as always, in about 5 minutes, well, maybe 8, you can expect, and I'm not afraid to say it, the deepest therapeutic work during which I will personally guide you. And most importantly, you will be able to work through one of these disbeliefs, whether it concerns you personally, your partner, your perception of your partner, or your relationship. But before we move on to this therapeutic work, I want to take a moment with you to understand what this belief actually is, how it is formed, and how exactly it affects us. The first thing I want to start with, this belief is something that operates by default and is primarily the result of our unconscious processes. In other words, we don't even think about it. For example, a simple example. I know that I'm not worthy of something. I know that this person will not pay attention to me. I know that this is impossible. In other words, this belief is a skill that is formed as a result of certain experiences and manifests itself automatically on an unconscious level. This belief is a belief that we do not confirm, notho, to say, do not question. That is, it is something that exists by default. In other words, a person doesn't even go there. This belief affects us through certain internal sensations. So, for example, when I'm talking to you right now, you can think about your relationships and say what you don't believe in, whether you can be a certain way in a relationship, whether your partner can be a certain way in a relationship, or whether your relationship itself can be a certain way. Do you have those answers? What is it that you don't believe in? Now, let me ask you, do you often question what you don't believe in? Or is it just there automatically manifesting itself and influencing you? Many of you will probably notice that it just works automatically. And what works automatically as a kind of belief, something I don't question is something we don't pay attention to, it just exists. And this is a huge, huge problem because this belief is merely the result of a certain experience I've had. But then I'd like to understand together with you, how does it actually form in the first place? For example, when you were 15 to 18 years old, and now you might be 20, 30, 40, or even older, you might recall that when you were young, for some reason you had no doubts that you could be in a happy relationship. No, of course, doubts could have existed. But deep down, you knew what you wanted and that you would be happy in a relationship. It was precisely this belief in yourself, this belief that something could happen in a relationship with another person that allowed you to enjoy those relationships, that allowed you to be in them. Yes, on the other hand, how real it actually was for me, whether I was living in illusions or not, that's another question. But this disbelief, or rather this belief, gave me, a sort of path to move forward, to create something, to enjoy it. But then certain experiences happen. I encounter something, some emotional situations, events that somehow affect me, traumatize me, influence, create various inner experiences, pain, and so on. And for some reason, over time, I start to develop, for example, disbelief in something. Right. And now it's important for us to understand how it forms, what determines it, why one person goes through something and another doesn't, right? And here's what I want to say next. Look, I wanted something. I expected something. I had certain expectations about myself in relationships, about my partner, or about my relationships in general. I wanted this. I liked it. This expectation gave me energy, gave me that desire, that interest, And from that state, I wanted to go out, do something, and get something in return. But in the process of moving forward, in the process of interacting and expressing ourselves, we often didn't get what we wanted, and we experienced intense emotional pain when my expectations differed from the reality I encountered. This gap between expectations and reality is often the reason for strong emotional or inner pain. A person feels pain. a person falls into a state of disappointment. Then over time, they start to understand, yes, they develop a certain awareness. Aha, if I want this, then probably it won't work out for me. After all, it didn't work out for me before, even though I tried so hard. In other words, a person starts to develop a disbelief that they can succeed, that they will be able to achieve something. So this belief is the result of some kind of destructive, negative experience where in the end, I didn't get what I wanted. I gained the knowledge that if I try again, it probably won't work out for me next time either. But the question arises, why does one person at this moment tell themselves that they probably won't succeed again, while another person says it at a different moment? And here I want to point out a very subtle, very deep nuance. But I think my audience will understand and appreciate this perfectly. Look, something didn't work out for me, but it's up to me to decide whether to give up and tell myself that I can't do it, or simply see it as an experience and keep going. So what influences whether one person accepts that they won't succeed while another refuses to accept that and instead tries to change something to make it happen, to bring it to life? Well, this is connected first and foremost to what I think about myself. Here's where it gets really interesting. For example, if from childhood or adolescence, we carry a lot of trauma and destructive beliefs about ourselves, the following happens. Look, for instance, I wanted a long-term relationship, but my partner left me. And then I come to the conclusion like, aha, I was left because my mom or dad told me, or maybe my friends or classmates said that I'm just worthless, I'm useless, I'm somehow unattractive. There's something wrong with me. So we try to justify this negative experience. We look for an explanation for why it happened. And we find this explanation as some kind of reason within ourselves. And this reason within itself says, yes, you couldn't. It had to happen to you because you're just a loser, because you're just somehow unattractive, you're somehow unemotional, you're somehow shy, something's wrong with you. There's something wrong with me. So you see, this disbelief arises as a result of a person agreeing that they won't succeed anymore, that they can't do it. And why can't they do it? Because it's somehow connected to them, as if there's something wrong with them. You see, that's why the goal of any therapeutic process, I'm telling you this as an expert who has conducted thousands of personal consultations and tens of thousands of people who go through my group therapy sessions and online workshops every month is as follows. Many of you probably understand this. So I have come to the conclusion that in order to work through this disbelief, the first thing you need to do is the following. First, understand when it appeared, as a result of which of your experiences and what it was in that experience that you were unable to receive. In other words, this belief is always about being disappointed in something important to yourself. That is, a person needs to realize what exactly they were disappointed in, what it was that they felt they were unable to receive. And the next task is for the person to allow themselves, as it were, to roll back to that version of themselves when they still believed, yes, to allow themselves what used to nourish and inspire them. To do this, you need to take several steps. First, you need to work through a certain emotional pain, because a person is a bundle of pain. Our body is the memory of our pain. We accumulate a lot of emotional and mental pain within ourselves, which manifests as tension in the body and so on, and which leads to psychosomatics. Our task is to release this pain, to release these suppressed emotions. That's the first thing. Second, our task is to look at the experience we've had, to understand what I was lacking in that moment to support myself, what I was missing at that time, to take my own side and not think destructively or negatively about myself, but in some way to go back mentally, metaphorically to that version of myself who went through that destructive experience and couldn't cope, and to relive it with them in a healthy way. To relive it as if you, from a different, more adult perspective, go through it again. You free yourself from the pain, you relive the scenario. Reliving the scenario gives you the understanding that there is always a way out, there is not always something wrong with me, and so on. The third thing we do after this is to break down the destructive beliefs about ourselves, the so-called convictions. In my practice, I use the deepest methods to work through these destructive beliefs, yes. Not just by talking about them, not just through affirmations, but through deep awareness and dismantling of these limitations. We work through these limitations, that's the third element. The fourth element, what do we move on to next? To the restoration of what was important to me, what nourished and inspired me. Yes, it's important to understand here that we often lose faith because we've actually set ourselves some unrealistic desires. For example, let's say I'm 16, 18 or 20 years old, and at that age, I dreamed that I would marry some man, some amazing, wealthy, successful man who would love me and be with me for the rest of my life and so on. Often this turns out to be something of an illusion, because let's say, for example, this man is actually on a completely different level in terms of worldview, thinking, understanding, and perception of details. And I, who really do have youth, beauty, aesthetics, desire, a certain inspiration, this femininity and so on, right now we're talking, for example, about women, and it's as if we're entering into something, but our expectations, so to speak, are to some extent unrealistic. And it's clear that unrealistic, that is disconnected from reality in its desires and expectations, also become the reason why we end up disappointed and lose faith. But even in this, even behind all of this, there is some deep need to be happy, to be in a relationship. That's why our task is to return to what was important to us and to allow ourselves to let in, to permit ourselves to have that need which was significant. Because disappointment, emotional and spiritual pain leads a person to give up what was important to them. And as a result of this path, we develop this belief. But look at what happens next. I already know that I will fail. So look at what the mistake is. A person is not yet in the future. How can we know what will happen in the future? No way. Because if we knew the future, it would be uninteresting for us to anticipate, to live. The future is uncertainty. That is, a person who is able to adapt, to adjust to uncertainty, is truly a happy person. That's why the future is uncertainty. But for some reason, we suddenly already know that I won't succeed. So this won't work. It's a certain experience, yes, a skill as a result of some destructive experience of your own. And that's how such a belief is formed. Therefore, our task is to break this within ourselves, my dear ones. And now, the therapeutic practice that I am about to do is worth its weight in gold. It is worth its weight in gold. It is fantastic. And I am not afraid to say it. Because this practice, which we did with the participants of my program Metamorphosis M of Relationships, is now in full swing. We do this practice together. I decided to keep this practice available to them in open access as well. And in fact, you also have the opportunity to work with it. So this is an incredible exercise that will allow you to regain that sense of self-belief. Because those who believe find abilities within themselves. Why don't we use our own potential? Why don't we notice it? Why don't we use our talents, skills, experience, and so on? Because if I don't believe in it, I won't even look in that direction. I often won't even try to do anything because it's unconscious. Because of this, we lose a lot of time. And this is actually the scariest thing, because we don't believe in the outcome of why we agree to something. If I knew I would be in a happy relationship, if I knew I was worthy, and so on. If I firmly believed in this, would I really agree to abuse? Would I really agree to let someone do things to me that I don't want? Of course not. We wouldn't agree to that. We agree to something because we don't believe in something. And this lack of belief, that's basically a fundamental setting. Yes, through this practice, I believe you can work through completely different issues as well if you even want to. But I think that even in this format, you'll be able to work through at least the topic of relationships in a very deep, profound way, which is very important for us. What should you do next? So look, before the main practice, there will now be a breathing exercise. It's absolutely essential to tune in with your body because the work happens on both the conscious and unconscious levels. The quality of the therapeutic process depends on two aspects. First, how deeply you immerse yourself in your body and establish that connection. And second, how deeply you grasp the practice itself and follow what I'm saying. And you try to transform this. That is, we will, so to speak, consciously observe the body, sensations and experiences, work with imagination, with whatever comes to mind, live through it, transform it, and change it. And in fact, we will feel all these changes within ourselves. So right after the breathing exercise, the main practice itself will begin. It will last for about 30 minutes or so, something like that. And I promise that the result will be simply fantastic. My dear ones, if you want to make me happy as well, please write a comment at the end about how the process went for you. Don't be lazy, do it. Give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. For those of you who are new to working with me or aren't subscribed, by the way, guys, first of all, go to the video section and take a look. I have more than 150 practices available for free on a wide variety of topics, ranging from relationships to money, depression, disappointment, and also motivation, goals, and so on. For those who would like to connect with me personally, to work with me one-on-one in my individual therapy sessions, perhaps for an extended session and so on, you can always reach out to me and book an appointment. All the links, as well as links to my other resources, are in the description below this video. So make use of them, add me, and feel free to ask questions. That's it. I wish you an awesome, super practical result. And see you soon. See you very soon in our new videos. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in the comments. Sit up straight. Close your eyes. Let's take a few deep breaths in and out, nice and slow with me. Try to tune into this meditation now. Remember how we did it during the practicum? Inhale. Expansion. Pause. Exhale. Relaxation in the body. Pause. And continue at your own pace. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Inhale. I feel as if there is more of something in my body. In the pause, I feel a lack, an absence of thoughts. Exhale, as if some tension is leaving the body. Exhale, inner silence. Try to tune into yourself like this now. Feel how the mind slowly, gently, and calmly returns to the body. Feel your body now. Wonderful. Now try to lower your attention to the level of your heart and simply observe your heart within yourself. Now try to slowly scan your entire body mentally. And now relax your shoulders, let go of the tension from them, relax them, just don't hold them up. Relax your neck, release the tension from your face. All of the back, knees, legs. Find a comfortable position for your body. Well done, now we are going to begin the practice. Just trust the process. Everything will definitely work out for us. Simply stay in your own rhythm, in your own sensations. Take a moment now to reflect deeply on your current relationship with your partner, considering how you feel and interact with each other. If you are not in a relationship at the moment, try to picture yourself entering into a brand new relationship, imagining what it might be like and how you would connect with someone new. Now, think about your relationships, whether you have them or not, or if you will be in a new relationship. Consider this. Now, take a moment to think about yourself and your relationships. Now, think about yourself while being in a relationship. And now, really feel your sensations within them. Now, think about what you don't believe in when it comes to relationships. What is it that you don't believe in when it comes to relationships? What is it specifically that you feel you can't have in your life right now? Is there something you desire, something you long for, but believe is out of reach for you? Or, on the other hand, what is it that you think you could possibly have, even if it seems unlikely or difficult? What are the things you don't truly believe in deep down? Are there certain possibilities or outcomes that you doubt or perhaps don't believe in at all, no matter what others say? Take a moment to identify the main thing that stands out to you right now, the one issue or belief that feels most significant. What area of your life does this relate to? Does it have to do with your own personal qualities, your abilities, or your potential, what you can be like as a person? Or does it concern your partner, their actions, or their feelings? Or is it more about your beliefs regarding what relationships in general can be like? What is possible between two people? What is it exactly that you find yourself unable to believe in? Try to pinpoint the main thing that you feel has a particularly strong impact on you, the belief or doubt that holds you back the most, that limits your actions, your feelings, or your growth. Or maybe it even pushes you away from them. My dear, have you realized this now? If you have realized it, nod your head. Good. Now, think for a moment about what you don't believe in. Think right now about what you don't believe in. Just think about it. What physical sensation is this also connected to? Is this disbelief connected to something? What is your body showing you? How do you feel this disbelief in your body? Where in your body do you feel it there? Tune in to this sensation right now. How long have you had this? After what did this disbelief appear? And also this sensation after what experience? Where is it leading you? Did you see it? Where is it leading you? If you saw it, nod your head. Uh-huh. How did this all happen to you? How do you see yourself? Is it him who doesn't believe right now? Is the disbelief coming from him? I'm seating him on the chair now. Establish contact with him. Sit in his place. Physically, let's all sit in his place. Feel him. Let's feel his pain, his experience, and in fact, what his disbelief is about, what it concerns even more deeply. Try to feel all of this even more intensely while sitting in this place now. And now, my dear, please tell me in detail about what happened, describing everything that took place, what was going on at that particular time, and how this sense of disbelief first appeared in you, how you began to notice these feelings of doubt arising within yourself. What was it? Tell me about this experience. Remember it. Try to feel it emotionally as well, physically. Great. Please tell me, what was the most painful thing for you there? The most painful among everything that was painful there? Did you realize it? What was the most painful thing for you? Where do you feel the heaviness in your body? Show me with your hand. Where do you feel the heaviness in your body from this? Is it pain? Or maybe just a trace of it? Feel it in yourself right now. That which is connected to that experience. Do you feel how it comes up every time you think about something similar? Something that might happen again, or maybe a similar trigger appears in your life. Do you feel it? Do you feel how this sensation is appearing? The pain, or what's left of it, the residue? Where in your body do you feel this pain? What is it like? Is it dull, aching, pressing, cutting, or maybe even piercing? For instance, can you describe it a bit more? Or maybe it's burning, right? Can you feel now what kind of pain you have from this? There you go. Now focus on this pain, understanding that it's unpleasant, but try to really feel it. The pain from something inside you feeling broken, something lost. Isn't that right? Become aware of this now. The pain from something inside you being broken, something lost. Something that was important to you back then. Become aware of this now. That's why you feel pain. Did you realize then what was broken inside? It became inaccessible to you. So, what did you start thinking about yourself after that? What did you start thinking about yourself after that? What kind of person did you think you were? Feel disconnection, the event, the situation, the loss of something important, the destruction, the pain, and your perception of yourself. If you have a clearly defined one. Do you currently feel the influence of such a perception of yourself? How does your body react to this perception of yourself, the one you yourself have come to? How does your body react? It's hard to breathe, someone writes. Yes, yes. Then let me ask you, what perception was formed either about that person or about your partner or about the relationship? What perception was formed? Don't think with your head, just go into your sensations. Yes, my dears. Do you feel the influence of this on yourselves? Do you? That's how you think as well, right? Yeah. Then please tell me, after all this or during this experience, what decisions did you make? Highlight the main ones. Decisions that affect your behavior, how to be or what to do. Does this affect you? Do you feel the influence? Yes. The last question for you, but a very important one. What did you forbid yourself after that? What did you forbid yourself? While you were there, in those events, is there anything you forbade yourself? Why did you do that? For what purpose? Uh-huh. Yeah. What does your disbelief give you right now? As if, what benefit do you get from it? Let's look at this disbelief right now. As if, what does it give you? What benefit is there? Is that clear? My dear, has it become clearer to you now what's happening? What experience, what was destroyed? What pain? What idea about yourself, about others, about relationships? What behavior, actions, decisions? What did you forbid yourself? And why do you need not to believe? Did you realize it now, yes? Okay, then let's go back to the pain that continues to live inside you. Focus on it now, on this lingering emotional pain that you truly feel right now, deep inside. I want you to feel how it affects you, the pain of that experience. Feel it now. What is it like for you? We talked about this earlier, remember? All right. What image creates such pain in you, as if it's affecting your body? What is it? A knife? A stove? Ropes? A hand? Or what is it for you? Or is it some kind of residue inside? Does it have any appearance? Do you see this image? Do you feel its influence? Is it connected to what happened back then? Is it connected to what was destroyed inside you? Yes. Tell me, please, is this helping you right now? Do you want to keep living in the present while feeling and carrying the pain of the past, of something that no longer exists? Then look at the image that causes you pain. I see you. I held on to you because I needed you for some reason. You affected me because I allowed it. But now I'm letting you go. You are not a part of me. I see you. Well, I'm sorry, but you won't be able to affect me anymore. You are free. I let you go. Watch, my dears, until the image disappears, dissolves, or falls apart. Does your body feel lighter now? Notice how the tension has released. Do you know what is the first thing you might feel right now? That even when you look at that experience, it feels lighter. There's no longer that emotional reaction, no more pain. See? It's as if it's just an event. That simple. Did you notice? Good. Let's move on. Now, let's turn to that version of you who couldn't handle that experience emotionally. See yourself once again as the one who couldn't cope emotionally, morally, emotionally, psychologically. Do you see that version of yourself who was broken by those events? The one who lost faith. Look at him. Establish contact with him. Please say it. What was it that he couldn't handle back then? What couldn't he cope with there? And we're not here to judge whether it's good or bad. It's simply a question. What couldn't he handle? What important thing inside him was destroyed back then? We already talked about this above. The destruction of that may have been the cause of that pain, and all those decisions and ideas about himself. What important thing was destroyed inside him at that time? Something he definitely did not expect. And that is exactly what caused him inner suffering. Nod your head if you realized it. When that was destroyed in him, what did he start to feel? Yes, Zarina. What thoughts? What was his state like? It was after that experience that he started thinking that way about himself and others. He made those kinds of decisions back then, is that right? Look at what happened, what was happening as an adult. Look at all of this as an adult. Do you agree with what he thought about himself? What labels did he possibly attach to himself or to others? Do you agree with that now? Do you agree with the decisions he made back then? He adopted certain behavioral patterns. And what about what he forbade himself? Did that help him? Did it make him more whole and stronger, more joyful and happier? Look at your past self and answer me a simple question. What was he simply lacking inside at that time? What did he need in order to cope with what happened, with what was going on? What did he need back then? Have you realized it, my dear? Now focus on what he was lacking the most. And what does it look like? Let him show what he's missing. What does it look like? What is the image of it? Give yourself all this now. He deserves it, my dear. Give it all to him now. Just observe how this image merges and fuses with him. Just watch how this affects that version of you. What does he feel when he receives now what he was missing back then? Do you see the difference now? Breathe deeply, don't forget about that. Breathe. Maybe there's something else he needs, something else you can do for him. If so, what is it? Give him all of that now. And feel all that right now, and keep breathing deeply as you do. Watch very closely and carefully how this really affects him. Now, take another look at what happened. How would you, as an adult, go through that experience differently now? What would you do as an adult, being there next to him? See the solution now. Do you, as an adult, see the solution now? Yes? You can already notice now how your part feels relieved by what you have given it and by the fact that you see a solution. And now imagine how you, as an adult, are next to him, going through this experience but in a different way. Yes, he is going through it right next to you. See how when he has what he wants, what is important to him, and you are there by his side helping him. See how this affects him. Moreover, not only does he not lose anything now, but he also, in fact, gains something valuable for himself. How do you see him? Has he gone through this experience? Then please tell me, how do you feel right now? Is it possible for him now to preserve or restore what was destroyed inside him back then? Is there a need to give this up now? Tell me, my dear ones. No, you see? There you go. After all, it was his. And only I decide whether to keep it for myself, destroy it, or let it go. Are you aware of all this now? Yes? So what does the image of what was important to you inside look like? What was destroyed then? What does it resemble? Do you see this image of what's important inside? What feelings connect you to this sensation? And now, return this image, fully and completely, with care, to that self, to him. Just feel how it merges with him. Where in the body? What does this actually give him now? What does it feel like is returning to him? So, my dears, is this better? Yes. Do you feel the difference? How does he think about himself now? Was it the same as before? And what about the decisions he made back then? How does he feel about them now? Does he agree with them now? What does he think now? What solutions does he see now at this moment? This is where you'll see your difference. Did you realize it? What about what he used to exactly forbid himself? As a result of that traumatic experience, does he still want to forbid himself now? Can he allow himself what he couldn't before? The way it was before? Then tell me, please, what does the image of what was forbidden or suppressed back then look like? What does it look like? And what happened to this image while all of this was being forbidden? What seemed to be happening to it? Where was it, this image? Destroyed, burned, hidden. Now, for just a brief moment, gently feel this forbidden image and mindfully pay close attention to what sensations, if any, you associate with it. Now, whenever you feel ready, return yourself to it. Feel how it really comes back to it. And see how it really affects it. Look. At it now. How is it showing itself differently now? How is it living? Do you see this difference? What is changing? How does it feel now from this sense of wholeness? Now connect with it. Become one with it. How do you feel now? Is it better this way? Now think about your relationships. How do you feel now about what you didn't believe in before? How do you see all of this now? Do you deserve it? Does it feel normal for you now? Do you see? Then, my dear, just try to imagine, even for a moment, that you truly have it, that very thing, the one you didn't believe in before, the one you thought was impossible. Experience what it's like to be in that. To be in this role, with these feelings, with such a person, or in some of your relationships. Live it. Allow yourself to truly feel every sensation and the emotions wash over you. Immerse yourself completely in the present moment and embrace the experience as it unfolds, noticing every subtle detail and letting it resonate deeply within you. What meaning or significance does this truly have for you in your own life, personally for you? What is it that seems to be growing inside you right now? And how does that affect you? Breathe deeply. So, how do you feel now? Good? Then return to your adult self. Now simply connect with your part. Connect with your part. Soak it in. Now, breathe deeply as you do this. So, please tell me, what do you think about relationships now? Has anything changed? Thank you for everything. With this, our practicer session comes to an end. Share your feedback. What happened? What did you feel? What did you experience? Did it work? Did it not work? How did the process go? Thank you, my dear ones. It was really, really powerful today. Truly magnificent. I feel like we did it all together in one breath.